Well, it's around that time right here on KAZ Radio where we have one of the most hottest shows every single Sunday at 3 o'clock. None other than What's Going On with Lady D and the Anomaly, Sir John. Take it away, Lady D.
Yes, and it is gorgeous outside here in
It
Cleveland.
is a beautiful day.
It's just so beautiful.
And a lot of people are out.
I understand.
A lot more
I
than
see.
I expected.
They held you up. Not to say. Well, we're going to go ahead and get this show on the road here. We are so honored and blessed to have someone who is just, I just love him. He is just so amazing and so awesome and so entertaining too. Tony Zayas from the Karamu House. Welcome to our show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, and I want you to tell our audience, who is Tony Zayas? Because there's a lot about you.
Well, first of all, I say I'm just Helen and Leo's baby boy.
Okay.
Tony Zayas. Well, I'm a native of Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
I moved to Cleveland, I think, in 1991 to complete my Master's of Fine Arts at Ohio University. So to complete the program, you had to get a residency at a regional theater. So I got the residency at the Cleveland Playhouse, and so that's what brought me to Cleveland. I'm the fifth child of 6 children, and I am very lucky and fortunate to be married to Kimberly Zayas.
Okay. Well, Kimberly, you struck gold, girl. Good job. So tell us about now you're over at Karamu in your position, and why did you come to Karamu House?
Well, I got to Karamu, first of all, in October of 2015. Prior to that, I had been the Director of Arts Education for the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. I had been at the school district for about 15 years in progressive roles. Then my last 4 years, I was still leading up the Department of Arts Education, and then I was Artistic Director of Cleveland School of the Arts. And going there for those 4 years was to help redesign curriculum and to shepherd the process of the new building. So there's a beautiful new building on Carnegie and Stearns, that's Cleveland School of the Arts. So what got me to Karamu, I had been on a strategic planning committee, and from October 2014 to about April 2015. And at that time, they had an interim executive director, and they decided to do a national search for a permanent leader. And I threw my hat in the ring with a little encouragement.
Okay.
And I was appointed president and CEO. So I started the work there in October of 2015, and it's now been 2 years and 7 months since I've been at Karamu. And a lot's happened in that time period.
Okay.
Can you, because I know everybody in Cleveland, Northeastern Ohio, pretty much have an understanding, knows Karamu House. But just real quick for those people who do not, or understand more than just how Karamu House, being Afro-American, one of the biggest Afro-American theaters in the country, but also how it's one of the cements of our theater district here in Northeastern Ohio as well. So can you give us some history about Karamu House?
So Karamu House is the oldest African-American theater in the country, as well as the oldest multicultural theater in the country. It was founded by Russell and Rowena Joliffe, a Jewish couple who met at Oberlin, went to Chicago, and then came back to Cleveland and founded the Settlement. The Settlement was originally in the Central neighborhood, a neighborhood called the Roaring Third, and I think it was at 38th and Central. It stayed at that location until about 1938-39, and there was a mysterious fire that burned the facility down. And then in 1942, a new building at 89th and Quincy. And on the current campus, there are kind of 3 parts to the campus. It's what we call the annex. Once upon a time, it was the Arena Theater, and then once upon a time, it was our Early Childhood Center. Then they built the theater wing of the building, and then there's the main administration classroom. And the theater wing administration classroom buildings connect. For many years, historically, Karamu was the premier training ground for artists of color to get trained in dance, theater, vocal, music, and the visual arts. As you know, there are greats that have come out of Karamu to include Ron O'Neal, Ruby Dee, Robert Guillaume, Imani Hakim, Bill Cobbs, and the list goes on. We're excited to have Vanessa Bell Calloway, who is a Karamu alum. She got a start at Karamu. Will be returning to Karamu to be inducted into our Karamu Hall of Fame on June 9th. And then she'll be doing her one-woman show, Letters from Zora, at Karamu from June 14th through June 24th.
Okay.
So
June 14th.
June 14th.
Good day.
That must be your birthday.
No.
Okay, well, it's a great day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the history of Karamu. Currently, our mission is to produce professional theater, provide arts education, and present community programs for all people while honoring the African American experience. So we have a 6-show season. And in addition to theater, we also produce comedy, jazz, and poetry. When I first got there in October 2015, we talked about, doing some other forms of entertainment because the community had begun to ask, like, you all should do more. So we started trying some stuff. And my program director, Asila Sharif, said we should do comedy. And I was like, we're not doing no comedy. And she went out and she said, yes, we are doing comedy. I said, okay, well, I guess we're doing comedy. So she went out to different spots, bars and things of that nature, and started seeing comedians work. And one of the things that the comedians said was that it's sometimes hard to do the work outside of some of the more traditional environments because people quite often are in the bar to drink and not to hear the comedian.
Right.
So when we started bringing the comedians to Karamu, they said, well, their families would come to Karamu, and some of those other spots, their families and wives and husbands wouldn't go into some of those places. So we created a rule at Karamu with our comedians, though. There's no FNB, and I'm not talking about First National Bank.
Okay.
And D-Hawk has really been our kind of lead comedian. He's hosted most of our comedy shows. And what's really interesting is that some comedians have said, hey, you mean I can't say my language? I say some of the funniest, most masterful comedians never use profanity.
Yes.
And D-Hawk said this to me before one show. He says, I figured something out. It's one thing to be funny, but it's another thing to be Karamu funny. And so that's powerful because us saying we want to kind of leave some language out of our institution, that's respecting the institution.
Exactly.
And we want to give the utmost respect to all that's gone into
also
this very
giving
special
comedians
place.
a way to, speak differently to different,
Different audiences.
Yeah.
And hit bigger audiences. So, giving them help, actually.
Yeah.
And you can communicate without having to use profanity.
Yes.
And speaking of a joke, I'm going to tell
No.
Oh, yes. Me and Mother Love.
Can we get back to Karamu?
I'm going to get my joke in before the show's over with. Because I had you laughing.
I laughed out of politeness.
Oh,
I
really?
thought it was
well,
funny.
everybody else thought it was funny.
I want to hear the joke.
I'm going to tell my joke now. Got you. Okay, so I was on the phone working with one of my customers. And so, we're talking about his hardship and everything. And he says, well, I have one arm. He was disabled. Yes, it's one arm. And so as we took care of our business, and as the conversation ended up, he says, I got to tell you something. I said, what you got to tell me? He says, how do you get a one-armed man out of a tree?
How do you get a one-armed man out of a tree?
Raise your hand. Okay.
No more.
Wait. And I just gotta throw this one in. So then he says.
Then he drops.
So then I laughed, and then
out of the
he says,
tree.
now let me tell you this. And then he says, so where? He says, wait, get it. Why did the coach go to the bank?
Why did the coach go
Why
to
did
the
the coach go to the bank?
Why?
to get his quarterback. You can roll your eyes all you want. That was funny. And a lot of people fell out laughing, and everybody was laughing at work, so that was pretty good. Okay.
You got two good ones.
Okay, I got two good ones. And then, no, it's not funny. And I got two last ones, and we're going to keep on moving.
No more.
I gotta tell this one because Mother Love just thought it was
3
hilarious.
strikes, you're out.
One of the supervisors told me he had an uncle, and you know he worked, and he was at work. He had this accident at work where he wound up losing his thumb. So you know now he goes around instead of saying, you know, most people say, "Give me
Fifth
some."
floor?
No.
Oh.
High four. Okay.
Larry.
Let's move on.
Larry.
John, I got you covered. Here you go.
Okay, so back to comedy.
Okay.
Well, back to Karamu.
Karamu.
Right. Not, yeah. See, that wasn't Karamu funny.
That was Karamu funny. It was clean.
It was
PNC.
clean.
And it made you think and made you laugh, didn't it?
It made me think and it made me laugh.
Yeah, now give me my quarterback. Okay, keep
Okay.
going.
You want your nickel for defense?
I missed that. That just went right over
I
my
mean,
head.
I don't know.
All right, let's reel it in. Reel it in. Okay, come on, Tony.
So I think a lot of great things are happening. We have a show called Passing Strange that opens on May 10th.
Okay.
And it's a coming-of-age story about this kid, young man in Los Angeles, who thinks his life is the worst. And he doesn't realize that he has a great life. So he goes off to Amsterdam to find himself, to live this bohemian lifestyle. And he realizes that life wasn't so bad back in L.A. So it's a rock musical. It was produced by the score was written by the artist Stu. I think it won Best Book when it was on Broadway, and Spike Lee was the original producer of Passing Strange. So the show isn't produced often, but it's really a show that people should experience, and it's very interesting. We're excited to have our Nathan Lilly is the director of the production, and he is also our marketing director, but a very talented and gifted director and actor as well.
Awesome.
So we have a great cast of individuals. Ed Ridley is our music director.
Okay.
And our cast includes Carlos Cruz, Josiah McElroy, Mary Frances Miller, Trevor Off, Corlicia Smith, Darius Stubb, and Justin Woody. So it's a star-studded cast, and we just want folks to come out and see the production.
Okay.
This summer is one of the summers that we kind of have a summer season, and usually we don't have a summer season per se. We'll do some events, but as I mentioned earlier, Vanessa Bell Calloway will be doing her one-woman show, Letters from Zora, June 14th through June 24th. And we opened this past season with a show called Simply Simone, the music of Nina Simone. And and who would have thought that she would be inducted into the Rock Hall the same year we'd be doing a show about her.
Awesome, yeah.
So we got, people just love the show. So the show is coming back, and we'll be producing it again at Karamu, July 18th through August 5th. So get your tickets now. And one of the things that we've experienced this season is that we've sold out a lot of shows. So people call and say, we can't get a ticket, we can't get a ticket. It's so important to get your tickets early. And it's a great problem for us to have, to sell out. But the community, I say, don't wait till the last minute.
If you want to do it, you want to get on this, if you're planning that night out.
Yes.
Because somebody's already beating you there.
You got it. You got it.
So how do we go about getting the ticket?
So you can go to karamuhouse.org. That's our website, and then you can just go to tickets, and you can get the tickets as well. Our box office is 216-795-7077. That's 216-795-7077. And again, Karamu House, KARAMUHOUSE.org.
And the location, can they come to Karamu?
And you can pick up, we love for people to come by Karamu. Karamu is located at 2355 East 89th Street in the heart of the historic Fairfax community.
And speaking of Fairfax, I had a wonderful time at the last play that we came over. You were over at PNC Fairfax, and that was a lovely treat that you did for the people in the community to be able to have a free ticket. It was so beautiful. They even had a bus to chauffeur the people to come over. You guys set up a nice little meet and greet. We had appetizers, and it was just really lovely. Plus, you gave a tour of Karamu.
Right.
And Karamu has changed since from when I was just a kid, because it was just like maybe a building and a
Back in the
half.
40s, 30s.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm
20s,
not gonna. I'm not gonna.
1900.
I am very young in heart here, dear. So just watch it there.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I
Cleopatra.
could still flip around upstairs in the modern dance room. I ain't lost my groove.
Flip
All
around.
right.
Okay, yeah, we did leaps and bounds there.
Larry,
But how?
hot seat has changed.
But it was really nice.
Well, you know, PNC Fairfax Connection have been really great partners to work with over the
Awesome.
years and been supportive of Karamu. Brian Williams, who is the director there, has really been a great new leader in that at Fairfax PNC, reimagining what that institution should look like and really serving the community in a great way. It was an honor to
Yes.
have Fairfax residents and PNC to kind of make sure that the families got there for the production.
Yes.
The show that you saw was The Adventures of the Black Girl and Her Search for God.
Yes.
And the thing about tours, what's exciting about
Yeah.
this tours at this point is that our Jollof Theater is under renovation. The theater will open June 9th, and that's a part of why
Right on time.
Vanessa Bell Calloway is coming, because
Okay.
it's the grand reopening of the Jollof Theater. So there's a brand new design in the theater, state of the art, brand new lights, seats, everything.
Wow.
And so we've invited and welcomed the community to come by, you know, and when we can, we could give you a tour as the renovation is happening. But most importantly, we want the community to know that the doors of Karamu are open during the renovation process, that Karamu is a place where we want you to come and experience our classes. So we have adult tap classes, we have the adult acting classes.
And those are being run for, is that the summer program for the classes?
So the classes for the adults run year round.
Okay.
We do have classes for young people, students. That's our after school and weekend programs. And our summer program, we call it Summer Arts. That's from June 18th through August 4th. And so we will have, students will be taking classes in dance, theater, and vocal music.
Okay.
We're going to be doing some interesting stuff in partnership with Cleveland Museum of Art with the Parade the Circle. Students will be learning stilt
that's
walking
nice.
Okay.
as a part of the partnership as well. So we really want families to know that if you have a young person, grades 7 through 12, that you want them to participate in a summer program, please call Karamu. If it's a young person, but we want young people who are interested in the arts.
Right.
Because our programs are focused in on mastering their skills in their respective arts disciplines.
Right now.
Okay.
Right
Yeah.
now.
And we really want people to come in and really connect with our incredible team of teaching artists. And again,
And networking for especially young people. If you're a parent and you have a child who you know is artistic, this is an opportunity to help them, like he said, get those skills honed now, and also open their eyes to the possibilities where they can go, their dream.
that's right. That's so true. And as well, young people actualizing their dreams to be an artist. But I want to develop as well young people who are simply positive, contributing members of society.
Wow.
And arts education ensures that a young person has a balanced education.
Right.
And so we want to partner with the school district and other organizations to be able to provide more access to families and students to ensure that they have these incredible opportunities.
Right.
Building foundation.
Yeah.
It's so
And not many
important.
cities have
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah.
Metropolitan areas. Not many in Ohio, not many in the country. So this is something to take advantage of.
Well, Cleveland is a very special place. When
Oh,
think-
thank you. No.
It really is. When you think about the oldest regional theater in the country, which is the Cleveland Playhouse, the oldest African American and multicultural theater in the country, which is Karamu House. When you think of the Cleveland Foundation being the oldest community foundation in the world,
Right.
I mean, we could go on and on and on about what the riches of this community has. The Cleveland Orchestra, noted as the
Premier.
the world, the number one orchestra in the world. So we have so much to offer and to
Yes.
celebrate the riches of this city. And we've got some Cavs that are doing some awesome things.
Yes, left-handed.
At this town, I'm telling you, we're just a big sea on the lake.
Yes.
And we're studying. You know, this is what I love about being here is because we have so many talents.
Yes.
And this is what our show is really all about, is to give one those exposures, to come together, to network, to meet and partner up. And because we're just steady growing by the masses.
Yep.
You know, and these things, as you said, need to be celebrated and be more visual with it.
Visual, and you know, people need to understand that our, you know, in the community, especially our community here, that we do have these programs, we do have these institutions that are available for you to take advantage of.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, to help you. And I was just thinking of something, a question. How do you, Karamu works with the indie community? Like people who do movies or stuff like that, you know, directors, indie directors. Is there any connection or opportunity that you guys work with them?
Well, quite often we get calls asking for support around casting and finding talent. Currently, we hire directors specifically for our stage productions. So one of the things that we're interested in, and we're raising dollars right now for our renovation project. So we have a capital campaign that's happening. Well, we call it the sustainability campaign.
Okay.
And the sustainability campaign includes raising monies for operations as well as dollars for capital improvements. So a part of that vision is to create an innovation center in Karamu, which will double as a studio to then create content, and as well work with developing young people or lifelong learners around creating content and around technology. So we envision that to come down the road to be able to work with artists and developers.
Awesome. Okay. This is a huge indie community in Northeastern Ohio.
Right.
And that's, I feel we come across so many different artists of course many genres, and one of the things they keep on bringing up is like, well, you know, in LA they got certain things, and you know, in New York there's certain things, and we don't necessarily have it here. But I notice a lot of them are here, and they become what's the word? The infrastructure for a lot of other different stars and things like that, TV shows, directors. Now, and it's amazing how much talent comes out of here and go globally elsewhere. And they're the infrastructure of a lot of things we watch and see.
Well, you know, the sitcoms, television shows aren't necessarily produced these days as they were 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
And then people are creating content, and then those industries, those executives are picking up that material, and then, hey, it's been developed, let's then move it forward from there. And Karamu envisions soon and very soon that to be able to partner with content creators as well. So as you talk about having ideas, we encourage people to call us if you have a thought, if you have an idea. Because the word Karamu is a Kiswahili word that means a place of joyful gathering. And so people, we want people to come to us to share their ideas. Every idea we want is not for us at Karamu to develop, but there are those nuggets out there. So that one nugget could be your idea, whoever it is. So have a conversation with us. Let's see how we can work together, because this institution is the community's institution for all people, and that's so important.
What is the youngest age there at Karamu? As far as the classes, what would be the youngest age that a child, a young adult could come?
So we have it. So that's a tricky question, and let me say this: we design programs for children of all ages. So organizations come to us and say, "Hey, we have an early childhood program for kids for 4 or 5 years old. We want you to do something with us." So we design the program. We then can deliver the program either at their location or have the young people come to Karamu. So specific organizations have done that with us. We currently work with students from third grade and above. And one of the reasons why we look at that is that students need to be able to self-contain, to be able to stay focused,
Right.
and that it's a different kind of instructional process when you go much younger.
Right.
Our summer arts program is really focused on that 7th through 12th grader, because quite often that's when young people are moving into that middle school age, and we can help develop those talents at that point. And we look at our summer arts program as kind of all of our education programs as a pathway to our stage.
Okay.
So that we're developing talent, not just for Karamu, but for the community to go out and be able to have the skills necessary to be competitive in this community and abroad.
You know, because when I was growing up, my mom on Saturdays, you know, she says, you guys go to school with these kids. You know, you see them every day. We're all going to go to Karamu House. Everybody's going to find something to take that you want to do. And this is what we're going to do for the summer. And I enjoyed it. I met a lot of great friends. Even some of the kids that lived in my neighborhood that I didn't even know were there taking classes. My mother, she even took guitar classes there.
Okay.
My mom, she did a lot of, she got into theater at Karamu, and she worked behind the scenes and on the props and things like that. And we did a lot of work with Dorothy and Reuben Silvers.
Right.
And then as I later as a junior in junior high school, I actually got involved with doing plays with Margaret Ford Taylor,
Okay.
who is out of Karamu. So it's got some great memories for me, and I'm glad that we were able to get that type of exposure, you know. So this way, and you're never too young to get your kids out there and give them that exposure. Some things cost, but then we have so many free.
So many things that are free. And it
that
helps you.
Yes.
You know, I grew up in Cincinnati mainly, even though I was born here. And my cousins or my aunt, when we came up here, I had to come up here and help her out during that great winter of 70, whatever, 8 or 7. And I remember getting trapped in Karamu with my cousins because I had to walk them down there. But it became, you know, it was a center. I remember that whole time, even though the snow was like Alaskan avalanche glacier-like, couldn't go anywhere. I was trapped in there. I remember the steam heat, but everybody was doing something. It was your mind was taken off of the situation, and adults did it real well in doing that. But I look back on how also with my cousins it helped as well with me. My one cousin was after me, I guess the second eldest, her and my sister born the same year, Kwanzaa. She's done a lot of things there, from poetry to being in some of you guys' plays, and it just, you know how, and her son.
Kwanzaa is an incredible talent and poet. I have an enormous amount of respect for her, and as an educator as well. Her son is very talented. He attended he attended Cleveland School of the Arts, and I just spoke to Kwanzaa, I think, on Friday.
Awesome.
So, and saw her yesterday driving down the street. We blew it each other. So you got a very talented and gifted cousin. And this is one thing I want to say, though, is that I want to move away from the idea of free. Everything costs.
Yeah.
Everything has a cost.
Yeah.
And I
Good
think
point.
that we have to reframe that. So at Karamu, everything costs. We have to pay our staff. We have to keep the lights on. But we do have scholarships. And we do present programs with a sliding fee scale. So we want to let our families know, don't let the cost stop you from calling us.
Right.
We want you to call. Let us figure out how we cover the cost of your child in the event that you're not in a position to do that. But we want our community, we want the young
To
people
take that step.
to come in and take that first step and come in and participate in our program.
That would be great.
You know, and that's what you just said is very powerful. You're right. We live in America. Not everything is free.
Yeah.
You know, actually, nothing is free. Even though they say it's free, there's a cost somewhere with it. But back in the day, how we used to work with each other, before, you know, even during segregation. I was reading a great book about the Wall Street, Black Wall Street, and just how they worked together. Yes, there were costs. It was costs going to the bank because there was fees. There was costs when you went to the land surveyor. There was costs when you used the architect. But it was the community worked around it. And now we got to keep that in mind because that's how the Karamu, I think, has stayed as a permanence in our community is because we worked around it and we worked and helped each other.
Yeah, because Karamu has hit some highs and some lows, and I think one point there we were about
Well,
almost
life
ready
is-
to lose our Karamu house for a moment there, but it's bounced back, and this is some of the work that the students are doing there, and the pottery. Because let's talk about. I am so impressed.
What's that?
The Carl Stokes room.
Yes.
Tell us about the Carl Stokes room.
So we were very fortunate to get Carl Stokes a lot of his memorabilia at the point that he passed. So we have dedicated a room called the Carl Stokes Room.
Okay.
There are images of him with Dr. Martin Luther King, President Kennedy, a host of celebrities, and that we're excited to, as a part of our renovation project, to redesign that room because we have so much stuff that speaks of Cleveland history and the Stokes family history and the political landscape of this city and this country, and him being voted the
And
first
your neighborhood.
and the neighborhood.
Because that was his central
Yes.
So, well, Karamu is actually in Fairfax, and he grew up in Central. So, at the point, the original Karamu was in Central. So, yeah, that was his neighborhood, to your point. But to actually be able to exhibit those that memorabilia there,
Yes.
it's really wonderful, and we look forward to having more of a revolving exhibition because there's so much that we want to share with the community. And when you mention memorabilia and archives, we have an archive project that we're so excited about. We're partnering with Cleveland Museum of Art
Okay.
and the Cleveland Public Library. And
Oh.
when I first got to Karamu, people would call and say, "My mama was in Guys and Dolls in 1962. Do you have a program? Do you have a picture?" And I'd go looking for stuff. And quite often I'd find great things, but I never could find what I was looking for.
Okay.
And so we now, through our partnership with the Cleveland Museum of Art and Cleveland Public Library, we are digitizing and scanning all of our archives to then be available for the community.
Now that is awesome.
And what we're doing is, though, we want to then begin to exhibit some of the archives. So one of the things that I found, I was looking through some stuff, and one of our former employees, Annette Bailey, who was with Karamu for 47 years, and is still our historian, gave me this guest book. So I went thumbing through the guest book, and we found a signature of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Wow.
So Dr. Karamu used to have this guest book. So we've taken the guest book, we have it on display, and we've got images of when he was at Olivet Church across the street, and other images of when he was in Cleveland. So we want to begin to exhibit this work so that Karamu is a destination so that you can see these interactive exhibits of not just Cleveland history, not just Karamu history, but American theater history, because we are so central to the story of theater and this country.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
we're excited to have that project,
so nice.
and
That's really awesome. I mean,
and soon we'll be reaching out to the community and asking people to come in and tell their stories. Because once we then get all the archives organized, there will be holes, historical holes.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we're gonna use those oral histories as an opportunity to kind of fill the void. The other piece is, once we confirm what our needs are, we're gonna reach out to the community and say, hey, if you have Karamu memorabilia archives, we want you to share it with us. Now, that call is not. We're not putting that call out today. So we don't want the people to start bringing their stuff tomorrow.
Wait a minute, I'm going back in my closet. Like, what do I have?
But soon and very soon, in the next several months, we will be reaching out to the community, saying, hey, these are the places where we feel like there may be stuff you have in your house, your grandmama's stuff, your aunt's stuff, your stuff, that may be of value to the institution. Because guess what we know? Quite often, when you're gone on to glory,
Yes.
the next person who's going through your stuff may not value it, or understand the value of what you have to the importance of this historical institution. So do the right thing while you're here.
Yes.
wait for the call though.
But wait for the call. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
That is really awesome because when I walked in there, and that was before you even announced it, and I'm looking around and I'm looking at all this Carl Stokes. I'm like, wait a minute, I must be in the Carl Stokes room because everything in here is about him. And it was so nice just to see that. And it is so wonderful that we actually can take all that memory, and you guys are just blessed to have, the family donated this.
Yeah.
And we have so many great leaders here in Cleveland that would be nice to actually show their works and things that they have done and pictures, and it's can't lose that. I mean,
That's right.
that's awesome. But you know what I do? Even like news articles and things that just are very important, I would take them laminated and I put it in a book. And I got this little notebook that I'm building up, and I, write little stuff on it. So just like you said, so if something was ever to happen to me, my daughter knows this is some important stuff here.
Right.
And take time, read it, and if you can't use it, see if you can pass it on to someone else. Get it in someone else's hands because it is just so much, And I was watching the other day.
Your animal shows?
No, the Ideal. I do love the animal shows. Get off of me with Saturday. I love the animal show. I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I learned about the hippopotamus yesterday.
They're
but
big.
Not because they're big, but what they have, how they have to survive.
Water.
And they're so huge, and what they do with the babies. But anyway, I'm not talking about that.
I know it's
But no, now see, you made me lose my thought, John. Why you do that?
I don't know.
You
When you were talking about holding on to things, and you said your daughter, if something happened to you with your book
Right.
laminating, and
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. But I can't pick it back up. I got a brain freeze. I'll have to come back. Okay. That's not nice.
It was the baby hippopotamus. It
That's
wasn't
okay.
me.
Thank you, John. I'll get my thought back. I was trying to go to make a point there.
About passing those things on and making sure that the other person that you're passing on to know that if it's not important to them, to give it to the community, maybe.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, very much so. So now tell us
We all
about
can't be pharaohs.
right. So tell us the lineup that you have this summer, as far as the different plays. I know you mentioned this one.
Summer season.
Okay, so then when the fall comes, then you break out for your new section, the new plays is coming up.
Yes.
Okay.
So we haven't announced our fall season yet.
Okay.
So that'll be coming up. So you can go.
We got
to
a
our
whole
web-
summer. I mean,
Yeah.
we got time.
Yeah.
The joy.
So we will be announcing our season on May 15th.
Okay.
But again, this summer, next show that's opening, a show called Passing Strange. It opens on May 10th.
Okay.
The next show after that is Letters from Zora, the Vanessa Calloway one-woman show.
Mhm.
That opens June 14th through June 24th. And then, backed by popular demand, Simply Simone, the music of Nina Simone, July 18th through August 5th. And we just really encourage you to get your tickets now. Again, people were... I think people began to try to do all kinds of things to get a ticket to Simply Simone. So get it
A
now.
lot of good music.
A lot of
That's
good
gonna
music.
be a really good.
And it tells a great story about her life. And the story is told through 4 women who play various, who represent various chapters in her life.
Okay.
So it's really great. It's directed by Oberlin professor Caroline Jackson Smith.
Okay.
So we're really excited about bringing that show back. We also had a show this year called Sassy Mamas.
Everybody, I missed that. They were really talking about that show. Gave
Yeah.
a lot of kudos for that.
Yeah, we were
People loved
excited. It exceeded all of our expectations, and that was another one that sold out. I think we have a waiting list of about 300 or 400 people who wanted to see the show that couldn't get to see the show.
Are you going to bring it back?
So guess what?
You're bringing it back.
Sassy Mamas is coming
All
back.
right, when? Because I want to get my ticket.
Well, we'll be talking about that soon.
Okay, so we got to listen.
But it's
Yeah.
in the summer.
It's not in the summer series.
Oh, okay, so then maybe the fall.
Wink, wink.
Okay. Excellent.
So we really want people to have an opportunity to see Sassy Mamas because it's a show about these 3 professional, very accomplished women who, for whatever reasons, are single.
Okay.
And all of them are, over 40. and they are dating younger men.
Oh, okay.
But they say they are not cougars. They're Black Panthers.
All right. So that's more than like Stella getting a groove on. Stella got a groove back.
Yeah.
Why do I just have this image of the movie Black Panther?
Yeah, and hey.
Forever.
Wait.
Wakanda forever.
You're right.
Well, what's exciting with this show is near and dear to me because it was the first show I've directed at Karamu since I have been president.
Okay.
And I was honored to have my wife in one of the roles in Sassy Mamas.
Okay.
So it was really exciting, and I'm just so glad it was such a success. We look forward to announcing the return of Sassy Mamas. It was produced in February of this year,
Okay.
but we will be announcing the return of Sassy
Well,
Mamas
I'm
as
going to
well.
make sure I get my ticket because so many people say, did you get to see Sassy? I say, no. And I say, every time I talk about Kimberly, someone says, did you see Sassy Mama? I'm like, no, I didn't get a chance to see it. You have done some acting yourself.
Yes.
And when did you start doing your first acting? What was the age? Because we were talking about that before the show started.
I said 5, but I think it was somewhere between 5 and 7. I got to do a educational video, safety video, and I think it was for the Boy Scouts, but it was a safety video for sure. And it was around. We had to go on location, and there were these 2 kids who had fallen off the side of a cliff, and they were trying to rescue them. And so I had to jump on this dirt bike. Yeah, and I was a Boy Scout.
Okay.
I had to and at that time I was a Cub Scout to be exact, because my uniform was blue, and
Okay.
of course the scarf was
Yellow.
Okay.
and so this was about good scouting, and I was a Cub Scout as well and a Boy Scout. So that was I tell people that was my first time I got a check to do the work, and it was through the public television station in Jackson. You know, it's really funny as I'm over 50 and I'm trying to pull these thoughts, and I'm like, okay, this is how it happened. But I never forget, I had my dressing room had Mr. Tony Sias, and that ruined me. Just seeing that on that door.
At that young age.
Yeah, at that young age.
And see where has brought you today.
Yeah, and then to walk in the dressing
That's what it's supposed to be.
and to walk into the dressing room and see the mirror with the lights around it.
Yeah.
Because I got dropped off at the studio, and then we left the studio and then went on location. And what's funny, my dad, he was like, I said, aren't you going to stay with me? He says, no, you're in good hands. And so I was like, wow. So it was this whole sense of independence as well, very early on. But I went on to be in productions in high school. I went to Jackson State University, got a Bachelor's of Science degree in Speech and Dramatic Art. Then went on to get a Master's in Acting from Ohio University. I've done hundreds of plays. One of my favorite roles was the one-man show of Paul Robeson that I did at Ensemble Theater.
Okay.
And I was honored to play Troy in Fences. And August Wilson actually saw me in the role. So prior to his death. So, you know, it's been great. I miss it. I don't have the mental bandwidth to act at this point because I have a historical institution that I have to lead to ensure that we continue to stay financially stable, create and produce quality work, and to continue to engage the community in all of our programs and activities. But I look forward to, at some point in the near future, 5 years from now, what I said is when I turn 60,
Okay.
I'm going to do a role.
Okay.
It was 55, but that's right around the corner. So I was like, I
So you
got
gotta go back and do it just one more time.
Yes.
Yeah. It is so much fun. I enjoy acting.
Yes.
It's it keeps your memory going, and it's just, if you are natural, it's a lot. It takes study, but I enjoy it.
Yes.
Stage is so much fun.
Yes, it is.
You know.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, I remember. I was doing a play with Margaret Ford Taylor. She did a play called "Sing a Song of Watergate."
Okay.
And one of the girls, I'll never forget, she was always late to rehearsal.
Are you making a pun at me?
And yeah, you and Ray had a lot in common. And so I said, I'm going to get her role. So I played Martha Mitchell.
Okay.
And that was just so much fun.
Awesome.
And I'll never get, when you make a mistake, how you have to just keep it going and not let your audience know you messed up.
Right.
They had this little sliding board that come off the stage. And here I go, slide down the stage. That wasn't part of the show.
Okay.
And I played it off real quick because it was, thank God the man was sitting on the corner. I swung around and landed and sat down in his lap and smushed him in the face and got back on up and kept on singing my song.
Yeah.
So that was a really good playoff, but it's just teaching you how to do different things.
Well, to your point, that the audience doesn't know, and by the time you realize you've made a mistake, it's behind you, so move forward.
Yes.
Which is a good lesson for life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And when you talk about young people and people in general, knowing that the arts really build those skills around trust, around understanding there's the text and then there's subtext, and being able to understand nonverbal communication, because 70% of communication is nonverbal.
Correct.
And that you have to be able to read those messages that are happening nonverbally, to understand how to work in teams.
Right.
And so those are the other skills that come along with participating in theater and in the arts.
Mm-hmm.
Broadening your mind.
And broadening your horizons, yes.
Realizing that there's no such thing as problems, just opportunities, like sliding.
Yes. Catching your balance and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Only opportunities.
Well, I like an old saying, weebles wobble, but they don't fall
There
down.
you go. There you go.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, I would like for you to give our audience the address again, give out the phone number, and, please come out and support.
And more or less, hit on, if you want to see these shows, you gotta make a plan to get your ticket.
That's right. Well, a part of the renovation project has been, we have something called Name a Seat campaign.
Oh.
And that an individual can name a seat in someone's honor or in your own name. And that campaign, we have seats for $500. We have seats for $1,000. And I've been saying to people, we got layaway. But guess what? My board says, please, it's called a payment plan.
A payment plan.
But guess what?
That.
We got layaway.
We got layaway, so I can lay away my
Hey,
seat.
that's a good
Now,
idea.
that's a good way to go.
Awesome.
And so what this is about is it gives everybody an opportunity to invest into Karamu. So just as a little fact, majority institutions get about 60% of their contributions from individuals, while minority institutions get about 6% of their contributions from individuals. And so it's important that minority institutions get dollars from their patrons.
Right.
Because that's why other institutions, majority institutions, can do so much. And there's so much black wealth in our community. And guess
There is.
what? We go and we buy and buy and buy and buy. And sometimes it's okay to be philanthropic, to give back. Because being philanthropic does not mean you're a multi-billionaire, a millionaire. It's that you believe in something, that you want to see something stick around.
Yes.
So that $5 a month, that $10 a month, whatever you can do to support Karamu and other organizations, please invest. Because that's how other majority institutions continue to thrive. So we encourage people to, participate in our Name a Seat campaign. You can go on our website at karamuhouse.org. At karamuhouse.org. Our phone number is 216-795-7077, and that's the box office. The box office number is 216-795-7077. But I want to go back to the Name a Seat for just one last time.
Yes,
go ahead.
Because we're going to have a seat naming dedication, a seat dedication ceremony on June 10th. So June, actually, as I've been talking about all these things
A lot of
happening,
things going on.
June is homecoming month for Karamu. So we start with the grand reopening gala on June 9th.
Okay.
Then June 10th is Community Day, where people can come see the newly renovated Jelliff Theater. And then June 14th through 24th, you can come and see Vanessa Bell Calloway in this one-woman show. And it's
Okay.
so important to have a celebrity of her caliber who's done so many things. She has hundreds of credits on film, television, her whole webcast. And stage. So we want people to reconnect. If you haven't been by, come by. June is the time to come and see the newly renovated Jelliff Theater, to see the renderings of the other campus that we will be renovating. So karamuhouse.org, 2355 East 89th Street. Again, 2355 East 89th Street on the corner of East 89th and Quincy. And again, our website is karamuhouse.org. So I encourage people to just reconnect. Get summer started and let Karamu be a part of what you experience. We look forward to presenting jazz concerts again this summer
Okay.
and having a wealth of activity. And we just encourage people to go to the website. Those of you who are not, don't
Do the website.
come by.
Right.
Come by and we'll have a palm card or a hot card for you so that you can get the information. But don't be left out on the exciting things that are happening at Karamu at this time. We calling it Karamu 2.0. We're setting the stage for the next 100 years. This is the big comeback. And I use that big comeback not because I said it. It's because the Cleveland Plain Dealer had an article on March 17th that said Karamu, the big comeback. And so we are back in a major way. Yes, that the past is the past, and we stand
Right.
on the good and the bad of the past. But guess what? It's who we are. It's made us who we are. We
Yes.
all have, as individually and from institutions, we stand on the great legacy of every executive director, every artistic director, every staff person who's come before. It's allowed us to be where we are today. But it is a new day at this institution with an
Right.
incredible board that's financially stable, and that we have an incredible team of administrators, of teaching artists, and a community that just is in support of us. So I want to say thank you to the community,
Right.
but as well, now please reconnect. Come back home to the house.
There we go.
Yes.
A question
Yes,
for you.
Larry.
Is there a banquet facility inside the Karamu?
Not per se a banquet facility,
Okay.
but what we do is if people are interested in hosting an event
Right.
at Karamu, we work with them in designing the event. That we have a list of preferred caterers that we work with. So the facility is available for some rentals. We don't rent our space to organizations that produce theater.
Okay.
So, but anything other than that, we are open to see how we can work with the community to design an evening or an event for whatever your vision is.
Yeah, because that Stokes room was set up really nice. It had just the right amount of folks there, and I thought about that. So, if we wanted to have our business meetings, or do you?
Yeah.
A business networking thing.
Yes.
So I think there's some images online of an event we recently had that we set up the Arena Theater, our smaller theater. We were able to have a presentation in the space. People were able to eat in the space and then be able to mingle. So if you go to our website and look at events or media, you can see how we use space.
Okay.
So we encourage people, if you're interested in having an event, give us a call. We can't be everything to everybody, but guess
Right.
what? We want to do what we can, and with those who we are equipped to work with.
That's really awesome. I'm going to tell you, just please get out and support, because this is what
Come
we
back,
need.
come back, come back.
Yes, and support one another, and support your community, and support the families, and support the kids. Oh, I was thinking of another idea. So can someone sponsor a child maybe the parent couldn't afford
Or
to send that kid
Yes.
besides a scholarship? Say I want to just contribute, pay for this child's class today.
So we will encourage individuals to contribute through the scholarship program. You can again call us or check the website and say you want to then contribute to our education program.
Okay.
We always have an annual fund campaign.
Okay.
So for individuals to say, hey, I want to give on an annual basis, and you can earmark your donation. You can say you want your donation to go to arts education, or you can say to general operations, or to the capital fund. So yeah, all donations we welcome, and we really do encourage people. I think, yeah, that's an image of an event we recently had in
Okay.
our theater.
Nice.
And so yeah, great.
Excellent. Excellent.
Name your seat.
I
Yes.
want to have my name on my seat.
So we encourage people to go ahead and get that done because we have a cutoff.
What's the cutoff? Yes, I
It
need to
is
know.
May
When is it?
15th. So, and what's
Oh.
happening,
Oh, that's right around the corner.
well, what we have to then inscribe, we have to even get your nameplate inscribed. So for the June 9th gala and the June 10th open house, you can come in and see your inscription. But don't give us a call. Just give us a call.
Okay, and see
And-
how, because
Does that mean then I could just come and sit in that seat anytime
No, that doesn't mean that. That means that.
I'm just taking it like that.
So what
you
that
have your own personal seat at Karamu.
Yeah.
you know
Get
we
my name on the seat.
Okay, get up.
right, get up. You in my seat. This is a part of allowing people to be able to invest in Karamu. And when you come, so in the Jelliff, the newly renovated Jelliff, we'll have assigned seating. In the past, it was just open seating.
Okay.
So then if your seat as number would be A14, when you go in to buy a ticket and you know that your seat number is A14, you can reserve that seat at the time of your ticket purchase
Oh, now
if it is
that's
available.
cool. Okay.
So,
That's cool.
yeah. But it's an
like that.
opportunity for the community to invest in the institution and to say that you are a part of Karamu with your nameplate.
Like it. Have you guys ever thought about doing a farmathon where people you call in and raise money over the phone and people make
We have a new development director who's been with us for a year, so we're coming up with all kind of incredible ideas, and I like yours.
I like that.
yours.
I mean, because they do it all the time.
Right.
You know, call in. Come on. You know, or they do it through the broadcasting on the radio stations. You know, I've heard them do it. You know, we're still donating. We're collecting.
Right.
You know, call in $5. You know, it all adds up.
It all adds up.
Yes, indeed. Larry, you have anything else you want to know, sir? Any
Well, you know,
questions?
I was thinking
Comments?
because of that lovely banquet room and facility that they have there, man,
Yes.
I would like to do the KAZ award show in the Karamu.
That would
Wow,
be wonderful.
fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great place to do that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Well, we look forward to
Awards.
talking to you about the award show.
Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Yes.
And of course, the award to the anomaly goes to.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Drum
There's no
roll.
banging on my table.
Oh.
Well, we got 4
See,
minutes
banging
until
on the
we
table.
go off the air. Any last comments about the Karamu that you want to share with our audience?
Come join us on if you're interested in tickets to attending the gala, you can go on our website to attend. That's June 9th. If you want to come to Community Day, we ask individuals to register so that we just get a sense of how many people will participate.
What's going on the Community Day again?
So there's going to be the chair dedication ceremony. We'll
Okay.
have entertainment outside under the tent. There'll be face painting. It's a family event.
Okay.
People will be able to get a little tour of the newly renovated Jelliff. We'll have bands and people doing scenes and monologues. It's just going to be a day of celebration.
Okay.
And this all happened on what day?
June 10th.
June 10th.
That's Community
What
Day.
time?
1 to 4 p.m.
Okay. Is that a Saturday?
That's a Sunday.
Sunday? Okay.
So the gala is on June 9th.
Okay.
And then Community Day is June 10th.
June 10th.
And then we have the other performances that are happening.
Following after
Yes.
that. Okay, that is great.
We want families to go ahead and enroll their young people in our Summer Arts program. And again, Summer Arts is June 18th through August 4th. We are enrolling students grades 6 through 12. If you have a young person that's younger than grade 7, please still give us a call. Because if the young person is mature or advanced in their skills, we really want to have a conversation with families. Again, box office number is 216-795-7077. Our main number is 216-795-7070. These productions, again, are selling really well, so we want you to get your tickets in advance.
Okay.
And come check us out. Karamu House, our mission is to produce professional theater, provide arts education, and community programs for all people while honoring the African American experience.
Well, there it is, folks. You've got it right out of the mouth of Tony Sias. And we want to thank you for joining and being on our show today
Absolutely.
and sharing all this wonderful information with our community.
Absolutely.
And this is what you get when you're watching What's Going On with Lady D.
And Sir John,
Yes.
but real quick here, I learned something the other day. I learned the old thing, well, a fool and his money is soon parted. Horses, Churchill Downs. Have a good one.
That just went right over my head. All right.
Have a great one, Cleveland.
All right, we love you. Go Cavs.
Woo!